Hi guys, and welcome back to another ITH podcast where, we're actually just having a bit of a laugh because Patrick set up all the microphones and we were just all shouting into them to see if they were working, and he's nodding his head. They're all working.
There's a little bit of blood coming out of his ears, but it's fine.
He's fine. He's used to it by now. Today we are joined by, and we've been trying to get Tim on for ages. Shmee150 is on the channel.
Oh right, different Tim.
Sorry, yeah, not you. No, you're always on.
It's confusing.
Yeah. Hi guys, I'm Shmee. We've got to start that way here, right?
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. We wanted to have a chat with you mainly because everybody's been asking for it. We wanted to have a chat with you, and I think there's a lot of people on the internet that just want to know probably a bit more about you, if they don't already know from all the videos that you've been doing online. I mean, do you know even how many videos you've uploaded to this date?
I do know roughly, actually.
Oh, go on. How many?
It is about 4,000 now.
4,000 videos on your channel?
4,000 videos on YouTube.
Wow.
Between about just over 3,500 on the main Shmee150 channel, and I used to have a second channel, but I don't run that anymore.
Okay. And how many millions of views is that now, do you think?
Total is just shy of 600 million views.
600
over
million?
half a billion. Which, just to put it into some perspective, it's more views than the number of native English speakers in the world.
That is bonkers.
That's mind-blowing.
That's a cool number, isn't it?
That's a really cool number.
That is cool.
That's amazing.
Let's start from the beginning. Where did it all go wrong?
Where did it go wrong? Where did it consume my life?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah,
And your answer cannot be just read the bio on Shmee150.com. That's
it does
not
answer
allowed.
a lot of it.
I'm sure it does, yeah.
In short form.
Yeah.
In longer form, actually, it goes back, I think, to... I went to university in London, started seeing cars around, as you do. And then in, let's say, 2007, 2008, around the time, or pretty much before phones really had cameras in them, but I was running around with a point-and-shoot camera, taking pictures and sticking them on the internet of nice cars or cars with nice number plates, and it was definitely not a thing to do that back then.
Did people look at you and go, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, quite
This
often.
is weird.
Quite often, but it got weirder when the videos started. But we had a few years before that.
Right.
The photos, I would put them onto websites like Piston Heads or kind of static forums. Social media didn't exist. I mean, Facebook was just starting. I think maybe that's strictly not true. Maybe Facebook started around 2006, I think, but it wasn't kind of a mass market thing. Certainly not here in the UK. And then this just was kind of going along in the background, and I was also personally quite into using video cameras because I used to go and ski a lot. I had been a ski instructor.
You're very good skier.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time on snow, and of course you do videos. One, because if you're doing some stupid trick, you want to catch the moment when you get it wrong. It's always good to watch back the videos. And two, on a more serious note, if you're teaching or training, racing or whatever, it helps to watch back your video and learn your technique. So I was always into video cameras, and kind of an accident happened in January 2010 where I had just got myself a new camera, wintertime, and ahead of going out to the mountains, I thought, hey, let's try and film a car and just make a video and check that it's all working and my settings are all right and all that kind of thing. And filmed a video of an event that was taking place at Bmw, the Michelin building in London, a Top Gear awards event as it happens. And I've actually found out more about that specific night since, which is quite funny, where they had a Ferrari 458 Italia and a Lamborghini Murcielago SV, which were both totally brand new at the time. This was like... It seems strange now, but they were completely brand new. They weren't cars that you would see out and about. And I just kind of walked around and made a 30-second montage of a couple of clips and uploaded it to the YouTube channel. And for some reason, a couple of thousand people watched it. I think it got picked up, somebody watched it. And maybe I linked it on a thread online. Somebody watched it who then posted it on their blog, and then a few more people watched it.
Was YouTube quite a small thing at the time?
It was YouTube. It was the video.
Right.
It was the place where you uploaded a video to link to your friends or your family of something you did. It wasn't a place that you really went to consume content as you do now. Certainly wasn't a kind of monetized platform or anything back then. This is all much more recent. But it was really quite fun to do the video, to see people responding and engaging. And then started doing a few more videos, and then a few more, and then a few more, and then it grew.
Just a smidge.
Just a little.
Yeah,
just a little.
But of course, people, you're saying then that obviously the 458 and the SV, of course, that back then, back then, it wasn't that long ago, was it? But it was
nearly a decade.
Oh God, I feel old. But back then, nowadays with social media, a car very rarely gets launched and no one's seen it, does it? It's always leaked, and then there's a leak of here, and there's a picture pops up here, and something happens over there. With 10 years ago, it was a case of they would be launched at the launch date and they would go on all the websites and people would see them.
Well, indeed, and when I say launched, they had been revealed. It wasn't kind
It's kind of there on
cars
show
they
for
hadn't
the
seen.
first time.
But nowadays, when a reveal process happens, when everything goes through like this, as you say, with social media, everything is seen hundreds and hundreds of times from the go. There's no delay. To see a moving video clip of a 458 when it launched, there wasn't really anything.
Yeah.
You know, maybe a few national news cameras were going to motor shows and things, but there wasn't an easy, on-demand, accessible clip of that kind of thing. So in that space, I was very, very early in the game, I guess.
Did you think at that point when you say, oh, it got a few thousand views, did you think, this is interesting, maybe I should look into this? Or did you just go, that's pretty cool, and then you kind of forgot about it?
It was that's pretty cool. Replied to a few comments, like 10 comments, not the 10,000 comments a day or whatever it might be now. But I very much was like, oh, this is fun. I'm going to make some more videos. So I did. It wasn't like every day from the beginning, but within a few months, I was doing a video pretty much every day.
Just on cars?
Just about cars. And that was car spotting, the start of car spotting for me. I met a couple of others, a very small group of people, and everyone knew everyone from wherever they were from, because this early social media days, it was very easy to find the small number of people who were car spotting.
Were any of those people we know now?
Yeah, for sure. A couple of people who still are photographers, have made a career out of photography, for example. A few YouTubers from around the world. Obviously, I didn't meet immediately, but I was talking online with. And in fact, some of the guys I met through these social media activities and chasing cars are pretty good friends to this day. So that's a quite strange aspect of it as well. But it kind of it's changed format over time. It was car spotting then. Now it's much more, well, the tagline is living the supercar dream. It's more a mixture of car reviews, events, travel, ownership experiences. So it's
and that aspect of it is one where in the YouTuber automotive top trumps game, you're certainly at the top.
Yeah.
if not at the very, very top, you're certainly up there. Yeah.
well,
with your current collection. I mean,
at what point in your, I suppose, uploading videos and stuff did you think, oh, I'm doing a lot of this a lot of the time, and you're spending like all your time doing? Because what were you doing before YouTube? Did you have a job? Were you instructing skiing? Was that your job, or what?
No, so prior to YouTube, I was bumbling around on the ski slopes. It's not a particularly lucrative career, shall we say, but a very, very fun one, a good opportunity to travel and discover a lot of the world. But then I came back to the UK, when are we, 2008, 2009, and I got a job in the city in London, working in the technology department of an investment consultancy. So fairly challenging work, long hours, great company, fantastic boss who knew what I was getting up to and was kind of supportive of it, and allowed me to do things when required. But
what car did you have at the time then?
So when I was skiing, I had a BMW 1 Series.
Right.
A little bit into the start of working. So summer 2010, I bought an Audi S5. So that was through the work. But work supplemented by a few things that were going on in the background at the time. And then later on, the next car I had was my first Aston Martin V8 Vantage Roadster.
Nice.
But it was never kind of an overnight thing. When monetization came in on YouTube, of course, that was when I, from a business side, I guess, was thinking, wait, maybe there's something to do here. But without getting ahead of ourselves, I think my first month's earnings was like 60 pence. So it wasn't going to be a career.
we've been there.
Yeah. So
we are still there, are we not? I think we're still there.
So it's definitely something
Like
that
and subscribe.
evolves over time. Did it for a couple of years. I think maybe by 2013, my channel was getting sort of 500,000 to 1 million views per month. A couple of years in, and that started to be a potential for where it could go in the future. So it was at that time actually that the company I worked for had a bit of a shake-up, and I had an avenue to leave on pretty friendly terms if I chose to. So I sort of.
So they wanted to fire you, but you left, is what you're trying to say.
Maybe. No. I was personally, and I had this open chat with them. It was very honest, I think, in that I said what I was up to and how it was going. and they kind of understood that. They let me have more days off, increased my kind of holiday, obviously paid less, but increased my holiday allowance so I could take more time to go to events and film videos and things. But it seemed like the right time almost to go at it. Then took basically a year of making videos every day where the numbers weren't growing in the way I had hoped they would. And I think just at about the time I was ready to
give it all up,
to not give up, but to say, right, I need a new job again now, something serious. Things just
burnt
started
up the money basically you'd earned from the last job in the last year.
Pretty much. Things just started going in the right direction. And it was around that time also that Mark joined, who I know you did a podcast with as well. Who's the business manager, Shmark as we call him. Or as he didn't really have much choice.
No, I was given that. Yeah, we gathered that actually.
And he had a background more in journalism and connections to the car company, so he helped get me access to create videos and working with some of the brands that we work with, while I went about focusing more on the content and just sharing. And
we should note actually that we're currently sat in a place called Richter Sport, who is ABT's I suppose UK arm.
UK distributor.
Yeah. ABT are an amazing German company who modify Audis, and it just so happens that we're sat here because BOTB just before Christmas. Actually, Tim, you came with us, didn't you? Shmee came with us to surprise a lucky winner who won an RS3 ABT, and we're here today to basically hand the car over to him. He spec'd it. He wanted a blue one, so he's got a blue one, and they've built it all for him, and he's here to collect it. So that's why we're at ABT. But you've done some work with Daniel, haven't you? Out in
and this,
Germany.
This is actually some of the cool things, is the people I've been able to meet in the videos I've shot along the way, the places I've been, the cars I've driven, the people I've met, the racing drivers, the company founders, the engineers, the designers, which is actually a really, really fun part of doing all of this, particularly more in the recent years, as I say, from when Mark joined and when we started growing these relationships, and going forward how the numbers have grown as well, and therefore the seriousness with which manufacturers and significant companies treat the internet content, the social media content, and a lot of doors have opened and a lot of amazing experiences have come along.
And quite an amazing garage has come out of it as
quite
well.
an
I mean,
amazing
your
garage
car
has come out
collection
of it.
is quite something. I mean, when you started your channel and maybe then you gave up your job and you decided to go at it full time, did you have any idea that you'd be getting the kind of views that you're getting now? Did you have high expectations and you're always pushing yourself, or did one day, one of your videos just completely blow up and you're like, oh wow, this is pretty cool. This is big.
I've never had, say, one moment where it all absolutely flew. I've had a number of viral videos, things that have done hundreds of thousands, if not 1 million views in a day, that kind of thing, along the way. But if you talk more about kind of monthly views and subscribers, it's been a much more organic growth, an exponential growth, of course. I mean, as we're speaking right now, my subscriber level is growing the fastest it's ever grown. The view numbers are the highest they've ever been.
How many subscribers do you know per day, roughly? Like how many you'd bring on board?
The average is just shy of 2,000 a day.
2,000 a day?
Day.
Wow.
Yeah. Plus similar on Instagram and Facebook, of course. So it's
blimey.
The numbers go up quite significantly quickly, which is amazing. It's unreal for me to think how many people it actually is. And part of that comes when I go to some of these events in wonderful parts of the world, completely all around the world, whether it's turning up to do a meeting in Melbourne or going to the Dakar Rally in Peru or wherever it is. There are always people, and it's amazing to be able to share stories and talk about videos and things everywhere.
And what is the what's the, I suppose, how do you do it? Like how do you get to a point where you're gathering 2,000 YouTube subscribers or Instagram subscribers per day? Is it just churning out content, as some YouTubers would say, or is it specifically, because I know when after speaking to Mark, you guys are very specific in what you do, how you do it, and really spending a lot of time and effort and passion, I suppose, in creating these bits of content, or is it just picking up a camera and going and filming stuff that you love?
It's definitely not for me churning content. Definitely not. I don't just make a video for the sake of making a video. That I don't agree with that. I try and make content that I both enjoy and I think the audience will enjoy. But of course, one way to think of it is that I and Mark as well definitely look at this as a business. It was fun and it still is fun, and that's absolutely vital. But it's also, we now have a team of people working to help run the social pages. There are lots of people connected to what we're doing. It's become a whole operation. And as a result of that, I would say, in a strange way, the kind of Shmee character, if I could say, is a little bit of a persona. Of course, it is very much me as Tim, but it is also firmly in the knowledge that it's like writing a diary. If it's a private diary, it's you just put out whatever in there. But if you're writing a diary that's going to be published and 1 million people are going to read it, you change what you write. You don't. It's not going to be exactly the same. So videos are very well planned out, very, very scripted in many cases. If it's a test drive, I'll spend a lot of time getting notes and learning about the details of the car and talking to the right people. If it's an experience type thing, the video will be structured. I'll have a bullet point list of 20 things before I'm even starting the video, so I know exactly what's going to be in it. And equally, thinking about content, I won't double up the same car in a week. I won't do repetitive videos one after another. There won't be a video that's just, I would say, pointless. And actually one thing, so in the past, videos were much shorter. Around late 2015, YouTube changed to support retention time, so making videos longer. But you don't just want to make a video longer for the sake of it, because if you lose engagement, it punishes you for that as well. And in 2017, I kind of unintentionally did a video every single day that was 15 to 20 minutes long every day of the entire year. Without
That's
missing
insane.
one. Didn't miss a single day for the whole year.
You did 365 videos.
More than, because there were some extra days where I doubled up, like at motor shows, if there were two new
Blimey.
cars.
And every single video was minimum kind of
minimum
12 or 13 minutes. or
exactly,
something.
for the whole year. And some videos were 40 minutes if there was a really detailed story or something. So that year, there were definitely a few times where I felt I did make a video.
I just love, as we're chatting, sorry, Shmee, like this brand, the brand new, like it's literally, they've only just announced it. The brand new ABD RS4 Plus is now parked up next to your AMG GTR in the corner.
Yeah, that's actually being launched in Geneva in about 3 weeks' time.
Yeah, so you've probably just seen it on this podcast before anywhere else, but yeah, that's insane. Anyway, sorry, Tim, back to your story.
But,
Where were we?
well, I was just going to cut in and say the fact that it's become a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's become like a bit of a phenomenon. The whole Shmee150 thing is now, it's not just you doing videos, is it, as well? You've got this sort of, you're expanding. You've got the website, you've got the app, you've got new ways of getting people. You've got Instagram, you've got Twitter. You're on every social media platform.
Try to be everywhere. It takes a lot of time.
Yeah,
It takes an awful lot of time to keep everything running.
But you've taken what was a YouTube spotting thing, and it's something that is, in terms of views and people who follow you and all this kind of stuff, and I'm going to choose my words very carefully because there are a lot of people online who don't like this sort of aspect of it. It's a lot of people see it as replacing traditional motoring media. We know it's not, and we've spoken about this before, and we spoke to
Someone's
Mark about
been reading
this.
Piston Heads again.
No, this isn't Piston. This is actually Twitter, where a lot of these people, a lot of traditional mainstream journalists have a massive bee in their bonnet about you, named about you
Him regularly,
and in general about influencers, of which I don't actually personally lump you into the.
So I think I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. When a lot of this is around doing kind of a press drive or a full test drive video, I try and create content that is kind of informative entertainment. It's a little bit of light viewing with a lot of information about the product. It's less opinion heavy because I don't profess to be a fully qualified either journalist or a professional driver, shall we say. Of course, I'm pretty experienced behind the wheel of a lot of different cars.
Yeah.
I do drive an awful lot of them for the videos, but I try and maintain an attitude or opinion as would be the case of a normal kind of customer. Not somebody who's going to narrate what a car is like to slide at 100 miles an hour around a massive corner on a Formula 1 circuit, because how many customers do that? It's more, what's the car like when you look at it, when you're feeling it? Why does it have this? Why did they change that from the last one? It's information. It's much less opinion heavy for me.
Infotainment, if you will.
Yeah, it is. It is along those lines. And this is why I would say, as we've discussed, it's more supportive to existing media, rather than
a replacement. Yeah, sure.
Of course, consumer trends change and the way people want to consume content changes, and that's gone a little bit from reading to watching. Mobile phones, you can now hold one in your hand anywhere in the world and watch a little video. You don't need to carry a magazine, because even when you're on a plane, you could have downloaded the video and watch it, or on the underground, or wherever you are. So the way the consumption has changed has a very big part of this, and there are examples of, I would say, the more traditional media who have moved over towards newer forms of media and made it work. It's not strictly the case that anybody who did traditional media hasn't managed to get onto the new wave as well.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Harris, for instance, he was a nice traditional.
Indeed, and
journalist.
some of the likes of even the other YouTube channels, the likes of Motor Trend, the biggest automotive channel out there, Car Wow in the UK, rising very quickly.
Yeah,
those are what I would say more traditional styles and formats of automotive journalism presented on new era media, and proof that it didn't. Ultimately, the kind of content that gets consumed is going to be the kind of content that people want to see. The way the algorithms work, people will watch the kind of thing that appeals to them. And if the mass audience watches the kind of thing I create, go figure.
They're picking it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not being thrust in their face. They're
not forcing
consuming
it.
You're not paying for yourself to be at the very top of the game.
Exactly.
It's because people want to see it.
I'm not going out and saying in any way that people have to watch my stuff. They see it, they click it, and they watch it, and I hope they enjoy it. And I try, obviously, like I just said, with the kind of, well, not the persona a bit, but the kind of business angle. I try and create the content that I think is going to work. Like, occasionally, there will be things I would love to film, and unfortunately, I know it won't work very well as a video. So I have to kind of put a foot in it and say that's not gonna happen. Occasionally, like with any job, there are things I might not like to film so much, but I know it will be a good move for the channel, or will appeal to people. So I'll go and do it anyway.
You're now thinking of all the videos that you filmed going, God, I wish I'd never filmed that. But it got 1 million views, so fair play.
Yeah. There have been a few of those. There have definitely been times where I've been tired from traveling, stressed, dealing with personal things on a day where I have to pick up a camera and make a video, and absolutely not in the mood for it at all. But like with anything, cracked on, done it, uploaded it, and been like, oh, that went okay.
Just going back quickly to, you were saying just before the... it's gone now. The RS4 Plus came into shot. About making 15, 20-minute videos, but every single day. Did that help the channel, or did it get to a point where you're like, actually, the effort wasn't quite worth all of that effort? Or
I could give advice on that topic, but before I do, I just would like to say that one strange thing is that algorithms change all the time. So in 2017, what worked is not the same as what works now.
And is there somebody creating these algorithms? Well, is it somebody physically going in and changing it, or is it a computer going, oh, well, actually, no,
it's a whole building of people.
It's a whole building of people, indeed, in California who are dictating our lives, and they very specifically don't let you get anywhere near them, so that you can't have any benefit over everybody else. So in 2017, at least in the first half of the year, YouTube did a major push towards regular content. Your algorithm position massively benefited from a regular time slot all the time, and people coming back and watching all the time. Towards the end of the year, I would say actually around mid-October, I worked out, because I spend a lot of time in the analytics. I make a lot of my own spreadsheets, a lot of time looking at YouTube data, a lot of time kind of doing what I did in my previous job.
Yeah, consuming the data, understanding it, and then reacting from it.
Analysing everything I can. Before the year was out, I worked out that this was no longer the case. But at that point, when you've gone 300 odd days of the year doing a video every day, and you said to yourself, I'm going to do the whole year, you keep going and you do the whole year.
Right.
And then I intentionally missed the 1st of January the next year so that I didn't have that. Like, if I miss the 1st, I'm not going to try and do the whole year because I can't. And in 2018, things changed in a way that it actually wanted you to make less content, but a more consistent, higher level of engagement. And where it is right now, I can't tell you. There's a lot of things I'm trying to work out, but this actually changes all the time, and it's a challenge to try and keep up with what's going on and to change your style of content to match that as and when it happens. For example, until not that long ago, if you had a really, really long thing, like an hour plus, it would automatically do well because your engagement, your overall average watch time would be very high by some people watching all of it. Not the case anymore. So really, really long combined videos over a longer period, for example, fail because people feel like they've already seen it, even though just from your small bits you've been posting out on social media. So
I was wondering the other day, because I was, again, like you, I'm quite interested in numbers and facts and figures and stuff. And I do a bit of marketing for my parents' farm shop on the Isle of Wight, which is tiny compared to, say, your YouTube channel. But again, the kind of data that you can get is the same. It's just the numbers are a lot less. But I still like to see, you know, when people are coming online, what type of thing they're engaging with, when are they engaging with it, et cetera, demographics of people doing it. For videos, is there a, because when I watch videos, I'll watch for however many, you know, minutes or whatever, or percentage. Is there do you think there's a good amount of time that people can watch a video for? Hopefully it's all of it.
Yeah, I mean, genuinely, the length of the video, different days of the week, different country of viewership, so many factors will influence what you should do. For example, on slightly older algorithms, not now, for example, when a brand new model would come out, like I remember I made one video of the Ferrari 812 Superfast when it launched, and I made a 40-something minute video because brand new car, massive interest, no coverage of it. It's going to have high retention, and made sure it went live on a good day. And that obviously did quite well. I think there was 1 million views or so on it. It is all quite different now, and I guess in a slightly strange way, it is kind of my business. So I'm being a little bit delicate about what I can say, because it's, well, I guess like any business, you don't want to reveal all of your secrets,
of course,
which is a strange way to think about it. But it is a very algorithmical game, mathematical game.
You have to just try and keep on top of.
Yeah, you just have to keep on top of it and keep trying to create. You can either take the view of just create, and it will do what it will do, or you can adapt to kind of create what you think
thrive.
Well, it sounds like, you know, you've got to where you are because you're doing the extra legwork. You're creating spreadsheets on, you know, who's watching, when they're watching, numbers to understand, just like a business would.
Exactly. There is a lot more that goes into it. Any title, any thumbnail, even the words of my intros of my videos are all scripted and thought about before. Appropriate.
I can see a book coming out, like The Secrets of YouTube or something.
You mean actually another book? Notes
really? Well, I'm not surprised.
For the future, for when the future comes.
This will be book number 2, of course.
Yeah,
because you've already had a book.
Oh yes,
book number 1 was very much in line with the videos.
It
named "Living the Supercar Dream." It was very much going through a series of cars in locations around the world, with the same kind of vibe and feel of the videos. But yeah, I do like the idea one day of kind of revealing all and what actually happened behind the scenes, because people, you obviously only show in the video, especially now, the moment of filming, you know, the moment of here's what's happening, and that feels like everything. Nobody sees that this is actually a kind of 15 to 20 hour a day job, 7 days a week, every single day of the year, like every day. So even on Christmas Day, revealing when I uploaded my video of my McLaren Senna, the big reveal. Of course, I spent most of Christmas Day planning for the video to go live and then managing all the comments and social media flow when it did go live.
Well, because we were working with BOTB on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And the whole day you were just getting ready to post all this stuff for Christmas Day.
Well, that was slightly confusingly handling all of the shares of the Ford GT video that went live the previous day.
Yeah, because then you sprung it upon everyone that you not just bought one car for Christmas, you got 2.
Yeah, that was. But imagine the preparation work that goes in to have all the videos prepared, have all the locations set, to have everybody in the right place all the time, and still be uploading a video every day. Yeah, so even while we're sat here, I've still got to be thinking about what am I filming tomorrow? What do I need to edit tonight? What is going on with all of it? Because it's constant, you know. It's not just magic turn up, film a video.
Yeah, well, this is another point I was going to get to, which is you were talking earlier about being tired and, you know, working hard and all this.
I'm just moving your mic so people can see your face.
Oh, of course.
They'll moan again on.
People complain they can't see my beautiful face
on a podcast. People, come on.
I don't know what
you definitely don't want to see these two.
Have you seen this? Anyway,
flick to another tab and just keep.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it's talking about it's the hard work aspect now, because I know what you're saying. Obviously, you're now here, and people will be seeing this at the end of this week, where they think you're probably in
somewhere
else in the country, in the world. So
I mean,
in the last what 10 days or something, you've been Dubai,
So, well, 10
Bahrain.
days ago, I was in Dubai. Then I went to Bahrain. Then back to Dubai. Then to London for 2 days. Then to Arizona for 2 days. Then back to London. That's where we are now. In a couple of days' time, I'm going to Germany for 2 days. Then I go to Sweden for a couple of days. Then I'm going on another long-haul flight for a couple of days.
Man,
And that's going back the other way as well. So you're going all the way around the world. And how because I go on holiday. I go on holiday to the States generally every year, and that's like a 5-hour time difference. And you come back and it's like, oh, jet lag.
Try going from Dubai plus 4 hours, stopping over in the UK, and then going to America -7.
Well, exactly. I mean,
Your brain doesn't know what's going on.
do you just sleep when you can sleep?
Well, yeah, sleep when you can sleep. I had one flight actually last year where I went to Australia with a stopover in Singapore, and I got on the flight to Singapore 11 or 12 hours or whatever it is. I was lucky to be flying in first for that flight, and I literally just got on the plane, lay down, and slept for about 10 hours. And then everybody around was like, "How did you
Didn't
sleep?"
even have
Because
the
I never get
champagne.
to sleep.
I was worried about
I think
them.
I had a glass or two before zonking out.
Oh yeah, I bet. Yeah.
But literally any opportunity to sleep. I think when you work hard but you're doing something you enjoy, you have adrenaline to keep you always on the go. But also, if you are just tired, time zones don't matter so much because you can just sleep whenever. You know,
If you're always tired,
yeah, you just lie down and off you go for 7 hours. I do actually, because I often don't sleep a full night. I have a lot of nights that are 4 hours or 5 hours or not enough. My body will never let me sleep more than 7.
bet.
When it gets to 7 hours, I wake up. I'm up. I can't normally crash.
A lot of people, I suppose, might look at your channel initially and go, "Oh my god, how the hell does he afford all of these cars that are in your garage?" Like, your car collection is phenomenal, and it is. A lot of people look up to that, and
The
a lot of
Skittles.
people, the Skittles, yeah,
Skittles.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Skittles. It's like a James Bond-esque at the beginning of that as well. Now,
Sean Connery.
a lot of people would look at that and go, "Has he managed this all through a YouTube channel?"
So this is, of course, one of the biggest questions that comes in all the time. Yeah, I mean,
his dad's bought them all.
I never pretend online that I had, rags or a billionaire thing. I had a good upbringing. I had a good education. I got to travel a fair amount, but I didn't have supercars given to me. That's not a thing. I went into work. I started my YouTube channel when I was in a job. I had a small team of people working underneath me in the job I was in. Of course, the city industry had some bonuses and things. That's where I bought my Audi S5 at the beginning. But I've always had, I think, fingers in many different pies. People want to know what the secret company is that I own or what the, there's nothing like that. But when you think of, nearly 600 million views on YouTube, doesn't take a genius these days to know that that's quite substantial, and the companies and brands that I've worked with along the way and the different opportunities, publishing a book, having merchandise, licensing content, doing some consultancy with different companies, appearances, presenting live shows like at Autosport. Just the list is, it's not just.
Well, I suppose for you, every day is a work day, right? You work
every day.
7 days a week.
Every day.
Yeah.
And as I said, it's a couple of people working on the project or the business. It's not. It's not a one man band.
No, of course.
Jollying around. Although it looks like I'm just jollying around with a small camera, it's a lot more than that.
But that's amazing, right? If you can make it look like. I mean, Tim and I have got a pretty good job. I give away cars with BOTB, and then I chat rubbish on Virgin Radio at the weekend and play some great tracks. I love what I do, and I like going to work. Just like I'm sure if you didn't enjoy driving nice cars and making content on them, you probably wouldn't do it.
Yeah, exactly. I think, particularly the travel thing, I can imagine a lot of people, if faced with the amount of travel I do, would just not want to go anywhere near it. Seeing friends and family, difficult because never predictably in one place. Literally my plans change with a day's notice frequently. And I don't mean whether I'm driving somewhere for lunch or dinner. I mean, am I going on a long haul flight east or west?
Which time zone are you going to end up in?
How many was it? 90
odd flights last year.
90 flights last year.
Last year I actually went to all
Mental.
6 inhabited continents in 1 year, which was a personal kind of
Blimey.
cool
That's
thing.
pretty good.
Got lots of air miles along the
I was
way.
going to say, surely a BA Gold membership by now.
Definitely.
Yeah, I
very,
would've
very
thought so.
solidly into BA Golf. Has its pros and its cons.
Somebody asked me the other day, just going back to the car thing. They said, you've done some work with Shmee. I said, yeah, I've met him a few times. Do any of the manufacturers give him free cars to make content?
Sadly,
you must have
very rarely.
Right.
Any car I ever say is mine is literally mine. I've bought it. I've paid for it. It's mine.
Do you buy them all outright? Do you finance some of them?
I've had a mixture. I had a mixture. Just in terms of manufacturers kind of giving cars, I've run a few longer term loaners. Coincidentally, given we're here at ABD, I ran an ABD RS6 for a while.
Cool.
The RS6 1 of 12 that they released for their 120 year anniversary. So I ran that for a couple of months, a few thousand miles. More recently, I had a Bmw M5, a new gen M5 for a couple of months. But I'm very open and clear that those aren't my cars. They're not cars that I've bought. The cars that I have bought, like the 675 LT, the Vantage GT8, those I have outright. And no complication around them. I'm actually going to do a piece quite soon explaining a bit more about the Ford GT and the McLaren Senna, because those are substantially more expensive cars. And although I would have been in a position to buy one of them outright, I didn't intend them to come a day apart. That wasn't in the script.
That's planning that you can't plan for, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you LOI and put your name in for a car 3 years before, and you do two cars.
So LOI is letter of intent.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I thought at the time, maybe the Ford GT will come in 2 years, and maybe the Senna will come in 3 or 4. Yeah, no.
They both come within
came
like
in 3 years.
I mean, it's amazing to think, isn't it, that from all that time ago and everything that happened, and they were literally...
There was one night between. I put the
Yeah.
Ford GT in my garage at 9 p.m. in the night, and I left at 9 a.m. the next morning to go pick up the Senna.
That's mad.
It's
Did
not
you
supposed
please
to
tell
happen
me
like
you
that.
got in a car and you were just thinking, what the hell is
No,
going on?
it didn't hit for a couple of days. It was
Really?
a couple of days
Yeah.
later. In
In
the
fact, I
garage.
think, amusingly, I think I was actually talking to you via
evening.
Messenger on the evening when you were driving up to McLaren Manchester or wherever it was
Yeah.
that day that you were picking it up, and you were just you
Like, I
were
don't know what's
wiped
going
out.
on.
You didn't know what day it was,
No, I
what
was
year it was.
completely exhausted because obviously I care so much about the videos and the content. It's as much as it is a personal thing, I want to make sure that we share the right content around these moments. And a day delay can change everything, particularly if you've hired a location, you've got photographers and a film crew, you've got other people bringing cars along. If there's a 1 day delay, it's back to the drawing board of 2 or 3 hours that evening of trying to replan and come up with a new script and a new outline and a new something or new everything. So yes, that's definitely quite a challenge.
Do you still get really excited when you go and pick up a new car?
Yes. So
Because your videos genuinely look like you're a kid at
of
Christmas.
course, who isn't a kid at Christmas? Well, this year I was literally a kid
Yeah,
at Christmas. The GT and the Senna, absolutely. We try really hard to do something new and exciting each time. A Shmee150 collection day video is not just going to a place, picking up a car and leaving. It hasn't been. Since I think the first really big one I did was the AMG GTR, where we arranged by a lot of coincidence and luck that Nico Rosberg came with me to the dealership, the then Formula One world champion. He came to the dealership, we planned the car, another friend with the GTR came as well. We went over to a racetrack and Nico drove me around. So it wasn't just turn up, make a video. Then with my Porsche GT3, Porsche Amsterdam, where I bought the car, were like, we have to do something cool as well. So they actually arranged for a helicopter to come pick me up to fly in over the dealership where they put the car on the roof.
Nice.
That was epic.
Yeah.
So again, not so ordinary. And then the next one was the Bmw M5, and of course long-term loaner, but they were like, right, we've got to do something as well. So they, with some working together to try and set it up, arranged for a collection at the BMW Welt, even though it was a press car and a used car, not a brand new one. So the BMW factory in Munich. But with a slight twist in that I went behind the scenes to see the car's journey coming through. So rather than just on the delivery platform, showing in a way that other people could see how that whole process ran. And that was a really, I think, interesting video, and it got well over 1 million views. So again, appealed to a lot of people. And then obviously planning the GT and Senna came around. It's like, what are we going to do now, guys?
Madness.
And the GT hired the Goodwood Motor Circuit.
Yeah, that was cool.
Brought down some other cars for it. A lot of heritage around that car. That's the story of the car to begin with. The reasons for its existence is the 50th anniversary of the GT40 win at Le Mans, and then the Senna. The Senna was supposed to come in March, and it turned up in December. I'm like, wait a second. Can it be here for Christmas? Can we unwrap it at the McLaren factory? Then that came together somehow.
It's incredible. Just before we wrap up, a couple of questions. One is there one defining moment in your whole kind of YouTube career or a career as a content creator which you go, that was just phenomenal, or, a really emotional time for you as a creator? Anything that kind of stands out as a time that you go, this is why I'm doing this?
I mean, there are 3 particular moments that really stand out to me in terms of videos that I've made, just as absolute experiences. One was riding in the back of a Maybach G650 Landaulet, the convertible, like off-roading €1 million, very limited Mercedes thing that makes no sense at all. Except I was riding in the back, recording a video of a lion as we were going through a safari park near Johannesburg.
As you
So
say.
that was a bit like, are you serious? Is this actually happening? The next one was last year when I was at the wheel of a Ferrari F50, sliding around on snow with an Enzo parked in the middle, doing donuts in an F50 around an Enzo.
That's quite special.
Didn't feel real at all. And then this year, I had a moment actually very recently on my trip to Bahrain where I found myself at the wheel of a Mercedes CLK GTR.
I've seen this video.
Chasing a 911 GT1, a Mclaren F1, a Maserati MC12, and the new Apollo IE around the Bahrain International Circuit. And we were actually kind of pushing on a bit. So,
Patrick, sorry, just to interrupt. Patrick, it's those two there. That's it.
There we go.
If you're listening to this audio only, by the way, Jacob, the guy that won the Abt RS3, has come to collect his car, and his number plates for his car were just down there in the room that we're filming in. So they need to get the plates to put it on his car so he can actually drive it away. At the moment, it's got BOTB number plates on it. So he's got his own personal plates that they're going to stick on now, I think.
Yeah, so
okay,
those
so
are
those are the
three,
moments, yeah.
I would say, video moments that really stand out to me. I think on a kind of personal level, I did actually shoot a video a little bit about it for the first time when the Senna and the GT were parked in. I keep my cars in a car storage, so I have a line of spaces in a row, and I had all of my current cars together. I was kind of standing in front of the cars and literally having a moment of like, wow, how did this happen? Is this really happening? Has this really come out of
seeing them all lined up
doing this?
together?
Like it's a strange one to put into words, but
do you ever just stand there and just look at all the cars and go, this is just mad?
Sometimes it feels a bit unreal, because I remember running around the centre of London, literally running around or cycling around holding a video camera, chasing whatever new cars it was that I would wanted to make videos of. And I never thought then that I might one day literally have those kind of cars. Back then, if the then equivalent of a Senna, an Enzo or whatever it was, had driven down around central London, I'd have absolutely like sprinted across town or done whatever I could to try and track it down.
I still see videos that people put up of you running after cars, which is great. So you still haven't lost your you still haven't lost
people
your
actually comment on that sometimes. It's like I'll still be at a track event and run over to try and film a Senna, and they're like, "Well, you've got one in your garage." I'm like, "I don't care, it's cool."
Well, I think in terms of that, we should end on one last question, and that is, if anyone is trying to create a YouTube channel or to be able to earn enough money to buy their dream car or something without going to BOTB.com where you could win one.
Yes, you can.
Every single week. Look at that. That is like I planned that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Links in the description below, by the way. And if you're listening on audio only, BOTB.com. You can win a car every single week. If they're trying to come out with content, what is a tip that you could give a content creator?
I mean, it is something that gets asked an awful lot. I think like any industry, if somebody's trying to be any of this kind of industry, if you're trying to be a singer or if you're trying to be a footballer, there is a lot of luck to it, a lot of being in the right place as well as doing things well. Being a YouTuber is similar. You can't just go and start and expect it to, expect everything to go amazingly magically and it just happens. It doesn't just happen. It takes a lot of work over a very long period of time. I mean, I've literally now over 9 years of uploading of videos, and every day, like non-stop for nothing. Of course, the first thing that's absolutely compulsory is to start. If you don't start, it's never going to happen. And that's something I think a lot of people say, hey, I'm thinking of doing this. And stop thinking, just do it. I wouldn't say even for me, and there was no aim of making it a business or monetizing it. I never said, oh, should I upload that? I just did.
Yeah,
did post it up
started.
there.
Yeah.
And things change. People's style of content they want to see changes. Who knows what the future is? Who knows what new platforms arise and where all of this is going? In the same way we talked a bit about how social media comes alongside traditional media. What's the next kind of media?
Well, actually, one question that somebody did ask me that I've only just remembered by you saying that is, if YouTube was to be suspended tomorrow,
not possible.
Article 13 is one, isn't it?
That's a whole new topic.
That's a whole nother podcast.
That's an entire podcast. Yeah.
What would you do though if YouTube just stopped?
Well, I guess I'm very lucky because I still have Instagram and Facebook. You know, I'm not all eggs in the YouTube basket. We upload videos on Facebook, and I do a lot of brand type work with other platforms as well. So Shmee150 would continue without YouTube. Yes, okay, it would be a setback, but any business can at any point have a setback. But I'm sure, or I would certainly hope that I will come up with an idea and it will happen. I won't stress about it until I need to.
Yeah.
But I think one of my main things is just to be very relaxed about it all, try and enjoy it as much as possible, appreciate that it's very much here and now. And that's why I try and take every opportunity that comes up now, because it might not be there in the future. But you can't worry about, you can't live in fear, because if I lived in fear of it,
You wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't
You wouldn't
do it.
live.
No, exactly. You definitely wouldn't have a garage like you have.
Well,
That's
no,
well.
exactly. Yeah.
It's all, in theory, thought about. If
Yeah.
YouTube switched off, it should be fine.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Well, you heard it here first.
Well, you did say you had one last question before. I've just got two very quick questions to ask.
Okay.
Sorry,
Fire
just
away.
jumping in,
Go for it.
looking at the timer. First one car that you haven't driven that you want to drive, be it on camera or off camera.
McLaren F1.
McLaren F1.
It's like the McLaren F1 and the CLK GTR last week, but one of those has been
I
ticked
can't
off.
believe you haven't driven an F1. Not that
No,
I have, but
We've I've tried, looked into it, and the biggest drawback is to insure one for the day.
right.
Yeah.
We're talking like 50 grand to insure it for the day.
£50,000 to
Yowza.
insure.
For a day insurance of
And I dare say as well, that video wouldn't do as well as some of the others.
no.
You
definitely
probably wouldn't make that back.
It's more of
sort
a
thing.
personal achievement.
No
I suppose.
video makes 50 grand,
Well, no.
unfortunately. If a video
No.
made 50
You'd
grand,
like to think it might. You
it'd
know,
be like
but
a
yeah.
hypercar a month.
Yeah, that'd be very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So it's the F1.
Second question.
Second question: what's next, car-wise? Come on, you just got two of the best hypercars in the world. You must have
Well, I
something
think
that's
that-
coming that you can tell us.
That means it's
Or you
time.
can
That
hint
means
about.
it's time to take a step back, chill for a while.
Sell them all. There's the video title. Shmee's selling all his cars.
No, somebody else has already done that.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
The next car in that I have said is coming in
Mm-hmm.
is the
You've got to try and remember
Toyota
now.
Supra,
Right, okay.
new Supra.
Trying to get
But
him
do you- I
trying to
mean,
get him
there
to
must-
slip up on camera here.
Well, I was going to say there must
There are
be
secrets.
things.
There
yeah.
might be other things.
Yeah.
There might
Okay.
be things in the very, very near future that I've not yet spoken about.
Oh, we better get this video out
Ooh.
quickly, otherwise it's going to be out of date.
It is, yeah.
Tim would have bought 4 new cars since this.
No,
show.
no. The big ones are in. I've said that I'll change my AMG GTR for an AMG GTR Pro, and I'm also very excited about the TVR Griffith when they get things up and running.
Your name is on one of those.
Yeah. Have been,
If when
if they get it up and
if-
running. My
yeah.
name's been down for the Griffith for actually many years now.
right.
I think it's probably 2-3 years time. But it's a hard world to go from nothing to making a car.
How many miles have you put on your GTR now? How many's on it?
So it's about 15 months old and it's just shy of 20,000 miles.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
That thing's had some
You know,
memories.
I was
Garage
looking.
queen.
Well,
Flipper.
you know, I was looking for.
Flipper.
I got a good offer on that car when it was very new to flip it.
Oh, I
It was a
might give
few
you an
days
offer
old.
on it now with 20,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suspect,
Bargain.
unfortunately, I've taken quite a
A little bit of a hit.
bite.
Taking a bath on that
Yeah.
one.
Tim, Shmee, thank you so much for
Thank you
chatting
guys
to us.
too.
It's been amazing to listen to you, and especially about, I suppose, the things that I was really interested about, like the journalistic side of it, as in terms of, how journalists depict YouTubers these days, and you guys just like, whatever, like we're just doing what we love, just let us get on with it.
Yeah, that's it.
And about your potential garage updates and how you've got to where you are. It's been fantastic. Hopefully, if you've been watching this or listening to this, you've enjoyed it as well. If you have, please do comment down below if you're watching on YouTube. Let us know who you'd like for us to have on the podcast. Tim, is there anyone that you'd like to hear/see on the podcast?
Ooh, I don't know.
Okay, we put him on the
Yeah,
spot. Yeah, he's
I
on the
know.
spot.
Way too on the spot.
He's on the spot. But we're always really up for suggestions. We love that you guys watch this and enjoy it. So please do suggest anyone, preferably alive. It makes it a bit difficult if
It does, yeah.
if they're not loyal.
And also,
no longer with
they're
us.
not very dynamic.
They're not.
If you have to prop them up,
a little bit stiff.
Yeah.
And please do subscribe to the In the Headlights channel. We will, of course, be back with more content, whether that's a podcast, car reviews. We're here at Abt at the moment, so expect a video on an Abt car very, very soon if it's not already up, because that'll be quite a good one, actually.
I think so.
Might be something you've already seen out the window if you've been watching, so it's still part there, actually. It looks amazing. Anyway, guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.